Alright, so let's take a look at number 4. So it says Lady Gaga currently has 41 million Twitter followers, a number that has been growing by 8% each month. So at that rate, how many followers did she have 9 months ago? So this question is different than the last question, because the last question had us predict out into the future to say, well, what will Katy Perry's followers be at some period of time in the future. This is actually going back in the past. So we're going to set it up a little similar, but then you're going to see that there's going to be something a little bit different. There's actually 2 different ways that you could solve this problem. So I'm going to start with showing you one way, and then show you another way that you could look at it as well. So it says that she currently has 41 million, so we're looking for our initial amount, which is A. So this would be our A, 41 million. And it says that it grows, a number that has been growing. So here's that word, growing. So since we know that we're talking about something that's increasing, because she has more and more followers, so then we know that we're talking about growth, right? We're not talking about a decay situation, which we'll look at in the next problem. Alright, so I know I'm using that equation. I know what I'm starting with. I've got 41 million followers. It's growing at a rate of, let's see what our rate is here, growing at a rate of 8%. So that's my growth rate, not decay rate, but my growth rate, because it's getting larger. And then I just got to figure out my time. So it says that how many followers did she have 9 months ago? So 9 months ago, well, so there's my time, but so months ago. So this is saying in the past. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this one a little bit differently. But so there's our time interval. So let's fill it in. So we've got y equals 41 million times 1 plus the rate, which the rate is 8%. And then that's going to be, now here's what's different about the time, is that we're going back in time. So instead of it being a positive 9, it's a negative 9. So let's maybe make a note here to ourselves as far as what just happened. So when you've got months ago, so we're going to use negative exponents when going back in time. So positive exponents when you're going forward in time. So like on, if we look back at number 3, for instance, right? So we were talking about Katy Perry and her Twitter views 8 weeks from now. So that was a positive 8 because we were going into the future. So what's different here is that since we're going back in time, we're going to use a negative exponent. So that's going to be a negative 9. So let me just kind of clean this up here real quick. So I've got y equals 41 million. And $1 plus 8 cents would be $1.08. And again, a negative exponent since we're going back in time. And let's throw this in the calculator and see what we come up with. So we've got 41 million. Let's make sure we get all the zeros in there. 2 more. Yep. Times 1.08. And then that would raise the roof to the negative 9. The negative, by the way, is underneath the 3. Don't do the sign that's the key that's underneath the times. That's minus. So if you're going to do a negative, you got to do that one right there, and then you get negative 9. So our number there looks like we get 20 million 510,000 200. We'll round to 208. Right, Twitter followers. So that would be our answer. And that makes sense, right? So because if she has 41 million now, we're saying go back in the past. What was it before? So we would expect that that number would be smaller, and indeed it is, right? So that's kind of one way that you could set it up. I think this way may make the most sense to you. You know, setting it up the same as what we've done, just negative exponent since we're going back in time. There's another way that you could set this up, and you don't necessarily need to write this down. I'm just mentioning this because you may be coming from a teacher that showed you the other way, so I wanted you to know that way works as well. So the other way to set it up is to say that, well, where I'm at now is 41 million, and I want to go back I'm looking actually for A, the initial amount, and then I know it's 1 plus 0.08, and then that would be to the positive 9, right? And then you're solving from A from there, right? So I just want, if you'd seen it this way, this is certainly a way that you could solve it. I have to be honest with you, I prefer this a little bit more. So I'm not going to actually work out the whole problem with this, but so you would get the same answer. So you could do it either way. It's depending upon how you've seen it. But like I said, I'll show you this, right? So if you're comfortable with what I just did here, then just kind of, and you have no idea what's happening over here, that's okay. Just kind of ignore it, and then just stick with this. All right, so go ahead and stop now, and try number 4 on the right side.